Okay. So I have a bit of a treat today, especially if you're a low rank Zerg player. Now, anything below Masters, probably. I really don't know how effective this is going to be beyond that. Uh, I'm really just still tweaking this, but I wanted to. I was inspired by one of these threads. Hang on, throw this up here. You guys can see uh, that this right here. I love shit like this. When people you know make their own build, play some weird crap, they beat somebody who's like way higher rank than them. I love that. I absolutely love it. One of my favorite times in StarCraft was when I was experimenting with lurkers in ZVT. This was like before Solar was even doing it. So I'm a huge fan of doing weird off-meta things. So on that note, I wanted to share a weird off-meta thing that I've been working on. I'll look at some replays, talk about the build. I'll even show some ones where it dies, like these two. Yeah, let's hop into it. So I guess a bit of background first. So the origin of this build, I guess. Um, I used to love the 7-minute Hydra timing back when the upgrades were merged. We had the speed and range as one upgrade. Really great because you could get Hydras out like super early and kind of hit the Protoss like really hard before they have Storm or before they have too many Storms. That was a really nice way to end games in the mid game. And, it was an opportunity to use Hydras, which I quite enjoyed. But, the upgrades were split long ago, and since then the build has kind of just not been viable, at least the way that we used to do it. And that brings me to this right here. My gas first shenanigans. So this, I don't even know how to explain how I came up with this. Basically, I was just trying to find a way that I could squeeze in an extra 100 gas in the early game with doing like a minimal adjustment to my build so that things are coming out at roughly the same time and it doesn't look too weird. That's what we're doing here. So we're going 17 gas, which is kind of crazy. I know. Then we're going for the hatch. And I'm actually, we call this Penelope in my circle. Yeah, we call this Penelope the paranoia drone. They're just out making sure that if they were to block this base right here, we could just immediately take this base at the same time and there'd be like no loss on the hatchery timing there. And then the other added benefit of this is it gets to scout for proxy, which is great. You don't have to do this though if you don't want to do Penelope. Not really part of the build. Anyway, gas, hatch, and then here's the fun part. 2 drones in gas, not 3. And then at 17, we're going to take our pool right over here. Looks like we might be a little bit late. Oh no, right on time. From there, we're just going to keep mining these 2 gases here with these 2 drones on this gas here. And the idea is that we're going to be able to start our lair immediately when this finishes here. And we'll keep these 2 drones on gas. And then if we were going ling speed, then we would do ling speed after that. But with this build, we actually want to keep that on there for the Hydras. As soon as the lair finishes, we get ling speed a little bit later. You can see in this game, Protoss is at their core over here. They're going to be dropping a Stargate over here, I believe. We got this Overlord coming in here. Another thing is, because your lair is so early, you can actually block the Protoss's third base by dropping Crete, which is pretty fun. Usually doesn't buy you that much time, but, you know, I'm not even sure if it's really worth it, because they were just going to kill it with the stalker. But you could intercept that with some lings if you wanted. You know, there's some opportunities. There's different ways you can play it. But really, if you want to do that, you pretty much have to send this guy right over to this third immediately after scouting like the warp gate timing. And then after you scout like Stargate or Twilight or Robo, immediately go over to the other third. But yeah, so we're starting the lair as soon as we finish up here. And the extra drones, by the way, because you are going to have a couple extra drones, you can send one of them out to like go take your third or get in position to take your third, and then the rest of that just rally to minerals over here. You could also put another drone into gas here. And I do actually do that some games because it gets you a little bit faster upgrades. Still, you know, fine-tuning this build a bit. And I think in this game I actually forgot to send this guy over here in time. Lings chewing away this drone here. Like I made a couple extra. And the third base, let's see, I'm not sure when I actually dropped it this game, but it should be at 28. Yeah, here we go. Trying to take it at 28. And then the other thing is, I didn't actually need to make the Overlord at 20. You can just skip that and then drop the hatch at 28, make an Overlord at 27, drone back up. That gets your third base out a little bit faster. You can see, yes, it is a Stargate. Looks like I'm coming back in for the confirmation. And there's the Hydra Den. Basically, as soon as the layer finishes, you just want to drop that. Then we're going to be going for the speed upgrade first. Which we could probably switch those. Looks like this Overlord is going to die. We could probably switch these to do range first. But I have just been doing speed. I should be getting this. Come on, Ace. Get the speed. Get it. Click the button. There we go. All right. And then another thing that you'll see in this game and in the next game, I am skipping some spores here, because I'm kind of assuming that the Protoss is going to be like most Protosses lately and just leave their Oracle at home. This was nice. Getting a little bit of surround here. Looks like we'll get the Adept and maybe the Stalker. Not quite. Sending a couple more links, though. The Oracle there, though. He's going to be able to defend that. And canceling the third is really something that you can't really afford to spend too many lings on. Me making these extra lings was already a pretty big roadblock for the build. So if you want to do that, you can, but it's gonna delay things. Or, you know, you could sacrifice like all the drones on your third and just be super all in. That is another option. Looks like these gases were a little bit late, and I should have saturated this probably when the Hydra Den finished, if not earlier. Yeah, the upgrades here are a little bit delayed because of that. I didn't even know this is reduced to 75-75. When did this happen? Maybe we should go for this first then. Because then we could, yeah, we could do 75-75 on that, and then we could do the link speed probably earlier, and then get the speed as we're moving out. I don't know. I guess it would depend on whether it would actually affect the timing. Regardless, though, we can see in this game the pretty passive game. Protoss is just making some oracles, trying to get their upgrades going, get charge, all that fun stuff. And their Templar archives pretty late, which they're gonna regret. These oracles are sharking around. These Hydras, they are not afraid. Yoink. Gotcha. Gonna revelate me. That's fine. We're just heading over. And I think we're gonna... I just hit the third. I don't know, I might pressure the natural first. I don't remember. Let's see. Looks like I'm hitting the natural. Killing this core, which is probably not the smartest idea, because then he can only make zealots, and that's not what I want him to make. Fling speed finishing, just as my attack is hitting. Surrounding these High Templar, which are getting healed by the shield battery. But it doesn't matter. You can tell. It's over. And GG is called. That's game one. Let's take a look at another game here. Now we'll write up the build a little bit. Game versus freaking Freck. Dirty Protoss. Okay. So you can see in this game, I'm actually rallying the Overlord. Right over there. Let's see. Oh, shoot. I actually have to pause this to write up changes here. Hang on. Okay. That's right. 17 gas. 17 hatch. 17 pool. Two drones in gas. Actually, we should put this above here. That happens before the pool. Two drones in gas, and then the pool. There's the two drones in gas. And this guy, if you make it on time, you can actually just rally it. Nice. So I guess I should add, let's just add like 20 supply. We're gonna rally, get the drone. Rally, drone, third. And it should be a 28 hatch. And an Overlord. Let's see. I think I remember to make spores this game too. Okay, so then we're gonna say do layer and pool finishes. I could just say 22 layer queen, 2 sets of lings. There we are. Yeah, and then it's the 28 hatch. Should be dropping rip. There we go. Oh, Terran music. Okay, that's kind of important. We're also gonna say at 28 we're gonna make a second queen. It should be at like 34 supply. We're making the Hydra den. I should be doing it right now. It's so early that I don't realize my layer is done. Yeah, I remembered that. I sent the drone over there because I didn't have enough gas, and then I was like, I'm forgetting something. That should be at 34 supply. Hydra den as layer finish. Okay. Let's see. So, do I really have like a landmark for when I'm taking my second gases? I don't think I do. Basically, like after you drop the Hydra den. Definitely late here, if that's when I wanted to do it. So, okay, so why don't we standardize this? Why don't we try to actually write this in the build? And then we can play some games and see how that feels and maybe tweak it. Why don't we say, okay, so that's Hydroden as layer finishes at 34 supply. So why don't we just say Hydroden and 2 gases or drone gas. Ah, this game, excuse me. This game we're actually getting some delay on the Protoss third. Nice. Unless they were planning to 2-base all in me. Let's see. It doesn't look like it. I don't know why they're not taking it now, though. Maybe they changed their plan when they realized their third was delayed. Anyway, let's go back a little bit. Hydra speed. We're gonna make that at Hydra Den. Hydra speed. Or we could just say Hydra speed. Whoops. Hydra speed immediately. Although I am really starting to wonder, because this is, whoops, this is 100 to 100. Yeah. Oh, and this is way shorter too. Only 50 seconds. This is 64. It might be worth doing that. Because if we started this first, we could probably start this faster. Because this is the really long upgrade. Why don't we do that? Let's write this in here. Let's adjust this as we're reviewing it. Why don't we say Hydra range immediately? And then after that, I'm going to say Ling speed with next 100 gas. And then Q Hydra speed. With next 100 gas. I think that'll make things line up a little bit better. Now here, it gets a little bit weird, because like I don't even know how to explain what I'm doing here. I think I'm basically just grabbing like 6 to 8 like safety hydras. I don't even know what you would call them. And then we're saturating, or at least like half saturating our third base after that. I don't know, let's say right. Make like 6 to 8 hydras. Let's just in case nobody realizes this, let's write like finish saturating natural, and then like 6 to 8 hydras, half saturate third base, go up to 12 hydras, and like 30 lings. Attack should hit at 7 minutes. Can we make this slightly smaller so it fits? There we go. It looks like I fully saturate this. probably need to do, to be honest. So maybe let's just change that and say just saturate third rather than half saturate third. Okay, and in this game, basically, I just poked out and I saw that he had a bunch of cannons there. Then I saw something over here, which now I'm actually curious because I'm in the replay. What was that? Is that the Void Ray? Yeah, that must have been the Void Ray. Oh, yeah. I remember I saw it on the mini-map and I was like, was that a prism? But I never actually found out. Curiosity satisfied. Anyway, so, you know, because he has all these cannons here at this third base and, like, this position is, like, really shitty to attack into, and this position is really shitty to attack into, I was like, meh, screw that. Let's just go check his natural. And he had nothing there. So I just walked right in. Killed the pylon immediately. And then I just saw, like, these Hydras can just stutter step over everything. It looks like he's going carrier, which is kind of hilarious. But GG. The Hydras, they strike again. Okay. Now, let's look at one where I die. I'll show you two where I die. Got this barcode Protoss first. So basically, my mistake in this game, and I mean, I did it in the previous games too, I just wasn't punished for it, it was not making spores. And, you know, if you scout a Stargate opening, you kind of have to be wary of potential Oracle harass. That really bit me in the butt. I was not ready for that. We'll get to see the impact of that here. Like, the real weakness of this build is, like, your queen count is terrible. Like, like, horrible. And you're really, like, kind of playing on, like, a razor's edge here with your economy. So if you lose, like, anything to, like, Adept harass early on, or, like, Oracle harass or anything like that, like, just don't even try the timing. It's not gonna work. You're probably already dead at that point. But, to be fair, like, if you have, like, one queen and a spore at each base, like, you can afford that with this build fairly easily. Not too hard. There's something wrong with the shade animation, by the way. Depths are just disappearing. Yeah, that hurt. Yeah, this hurt a lot. This is exactly what I'm talking about here. You take damage like that in the early game, no bueno. Not good. Even though I'm delaying his third here, look at this. Look at this. Ow. Ow. Gotta have spores. Can't just play reckless. Hope they never attack you. Because sometimes they will. This is not wise. Don't have enough links to do that. I think at this point I was probably getting frustrated. I'm making even more lings. I might clear this? Ah, he's gonna warp in. Killed a couple units, I guess. Not really worth it. And in the meantime, he got a stasis trap in my mineral line. He's gonna get another one here. So much value out of that Oracle. What? Hi, Joel. What do you mean? Anyway, yeah. You can see here he's coming to kill me. I'm reaping what I sowed here. Terrible play. I just have nothing, and I'm just like, micro, do something. But yeah, it's way over. Took way too much drone damage early on, and then my army was super delayed because of that. His was not, so he showed up and he was ready to fight. I was not ready. I was like, could you come back later? I'm still cooking drones right now. You maybe come back in like an hour or two. Oh, here we go. Here's another one where I win. Take a look at that. And we can take a look at me losing to carriers. That's always fun. Oh, yeah. Heard about that. Sucks, man. Like, StarCraft community is much death. Oh, so that game, I actually took my pool at 18, which, like, you can do. Like, so a lot of the reason why I'm doing this stuff, like, I'm also delaying my pool and things like that and ling speed, because Protoss, like, doesn't really have good ways to punish that. Like, you're kind of not really forced to get ling speed in the early game like you are versus Terran. Because, like, the Reaper will just deny your third base forever. Right? That's not really the same concern here. And Hellions, you know, those don't exist. He does a little bit of a depth harass. Luckily, my reaction was better than that other game that we just looked at. Although I'm not injecting for like a million years. Oh yeah, this is the game that I was like experimenting with getting ling speed earlier, and then I just like kept canceling it. So I was like, I'd rather get the Hydra upgrade. Looks like I was too late to deny the third. Oof. Gets a couple more. He hasn't gotten that much drones though. Could be a lot worse. Here we're just sort of powering up as we get ready to activate the Hydra printer. There we go. You can see he is just starting Storm. Oh, what a sad Protoss he will be. All right, we are moving out. Looks like we got 12 Hydras, roughly. 2 more on the way. There we go. And what is that, like 60 lings? Something like that. And just look at this. Just look at this. I mean, my God. Let's slow this down and go back. Let's watch this engagement here. Because holy shit. Keep in mind, this is 6:30 when we're hitting here. This is like even earlier than the old Hydra build. Yeah, lost a little bit too much to the stasis there, but that's okay. Oracle just dies immediately. And I think we just focus this Nexus. Oh, and then I see the Immortal. And then I'm like, ooh, I want that Immortal. Hydra Ling is actually super fun to micro. Yeah, that's Storm. He kind of missed. I guess he can't get too close to the Hydras, right? Because the Storm range is not really that long. Forgetting to inject like a boss. But yeah, I mean, you know, look at that third. It just like fell without a fight. You know what I mean? He couldn't really do anything there. Like without Storm or good surface area, this amount of Hydras with both upgrades early on and Lings, it's like Protoss can't do anything. You know, like their options are seriously limited here. If they don't have like Colossus, Storm, good ramp that they can force field, choke point, something like that. It is quite difficult for them to hang on. The other thing that does work, though, is if they go charge. If they go charge, there's kind of nothing I can do. Adepts are also really good. But everybody right now is going for, like, Blink or, you know, just a lot of Oracles into macro. You know, playing, like, super passive. And they're not really ready for anything that hits this early. And, you know, if something does come this early, they're expecting, like, roaches. You know what I mean? Or like a Baneling bust or something. So if they don't see anything like that, like nobody's expecting a Hydra timing right now. Because nobody does this anymore. Because like the upgrades were split years ago. People stopped doing the build. Okay, one more. This one is one that I lose. But again, you know, my own mistakes here. I don't really think it was the fault of the build. Not that the build beats everything, you know, as I was just saying. Like Adepts and Charge would shut this down hard. Unless you fly the Prism straight into the Hydrant. I've seen that happen before. Anyway, so this game, he just goes straight to Sky Toss. And I knew he was doing it. And I was like, let's just see what happens, pretty much. And yeah, it was not good. What I really should have done was, should have, like, as soon as I saw that he was carriers, I should have just dropped a Spire and dropped a fourth base. Just macroed up a little bit while we wait for Corruptors. Because he had, like, nothing else going for him. And then also his third base was, like, really easily punishable, if I remember right. I don't think he even, like, had any units near it. So, like, I could have just totally killed that, and I just didn't even try. I think those are really the predominant reasons for me losing this game here. The build itself actually did pretty well. Like, we showed up and just destroyed his third. He couldn't do anything about it. Same story as we saw in these other games. Yeah, it's right. He even made the Stargate, like, in the wall. I remember I saw that and I was like, what does that mean? Like, why would you do that? Like, what corner could you possibly need to cut this early that you need to do that? But I guess now I know the answer. Because he only wants to make one gateway. But yeah, here we're making spores. We're like, okay, it's Stargate. Let's make spores. And I think that's the right call. We're just kind of focusing on drones. Yeah, so I'm not actually sure about the gas timing for my second and third gas. I think it might be better. I don't know. It looks like I'm kind of doing it like as I saturate the natural. Kind of makes sense. It's, you know, the traditional pathway for doing that. Yep. I wish I got that carrier. See, this was my downfall right here. That shield battery. Oh my god. Look at this shit. How insane is this? It's so close, and then he activates the battery. Crazy. Or I guess he gave it more energy. And we still killed the third, though, and this is where I was like, okay, like, I should have already had a Spire on the way. Because if I, you know, if that was 10, 20 seconds in progress here, we'd be able to just back up, drop a fourth base, wait for the Spire to finish, make some Corruptors, and then come back. But instead, I decided, you know what? Let's just prevent him, like, do a soft contain, prevent him from expanding, try to camp with some Hydras out here and see what we can do. Maybe we can burn off the interceptors and he'll just run out of money. But that's not what happened, as we'll see here. Like, this looks so good. It looks like I'm gonna make it in, but I just do not have the Hydras to deal with this carrier count. Like, already he has too much. Even with me clearing off these interceptors with hold position. You can see as this fourth carrier comes in here, there's just no shot for these Hydras anymore. I'm making more, but I'm looking at the flow of Hydras and I'm like, this is not looking good. It's pretty much just downhill from here. Feed through that. I try to get in again, but yeah, these Hydras just get obliterated. He's got his interceptor count up. There's nothing I can do at this point. Too many mistakes have already been made. Now he's making the mothership. That's gonna be GG for me. Yeah, at this point, I'm like, oh, now maybe we need a Spire. Dumbass. I needed this way earlier. Killing the rocks because I can. Yeah. Look at this. He's about to wreck me. Ah! Hydras got erased. Now we're trying. We're trying to make Hydras and Corruptors. I think we make it somewhat close, but not really. It looks a lot closer than it is. It looked close until the cloak wore off and the other carriers get revealed. Anyway, that is my build. I'm quite excited to see it having some success. I have missed the Hydra timing greatly. One of my favorite builds. I mean, as probably my favorite build versus Protoss. Maybe my favorite build in StarCraft. I don't know. I used to love it. Really love it. Super fun. But yeah, it's just not possible after the split upgrades. Or so we believed. But I'm trying to bring it back. I don't know. This is probably going to be like highly exploitable at a higher level. You know, high level Protosses are probably like, you know, smacking their lips looking at this build just like, oh man, I would destroy you. And they're probably right. But, you know, at the level I'm at, people are not really aware of how to identify what this maybe might be. You know, nobody else does this that also is working in my favor. So, you know, I've been winning some games. Not every game, but we've been winning some games. Maybe you guys will win some games too if you try it out. Who knows? And I will probably tweak it and adjust it. Maybe do like a proper build order video at some point. What I really should do, I should send this to Gamer Richie. Gamer Richie, this is like his bread and butter. He loves the weird creative builds. And he would love a chance to pick this apart, I think. Anyway, that is all for the build for now. Small break here, and then we're probably going to play some ladder games. Hopefully we get some Protoss players, because then we can try the build. Alright, I will be right back. Hope you are enjoying the stream.